All right, and our next video is from Lawless Baron. You know what? I'm going to just link it in chat right away, so you guys have it. And it is called "Could Squadron 42 release in 2022?" What? Okay, let's hear what he has to say. I'm afraid he's looking at the roadmap and seeing the lines end, but let's see.
What is up, my chickies? It's Baron here. Today we're going to be doing a video on Squadron 42. I believe you aren't going to like this. I don't care. I really just don't care. I obviously care because you're a viewer.
What did that say? I care about all opinions, but those that are outright salty on CIG and the project have no place, so please be respectful. Shit. What are we gonna do?
Viewer, you're a subscriber. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Watch the video all the way through. You'll be very interested in this, even if you're a long-time backer. Now, as we know, CIG have, in the past, you know, they haven't really delivered on timeframes. And there's reasons behind that. I don't really want to know. You know, I respect everyone's opinion. I respect all your comments. I love it. Just leave one down.
Unless you're salty, apparently.
Down the bottom.
Okay.
But this is my opinion. And try and change my mind, I'm going to guess. So, what I'm going to put out there today is probably going to be a little bit conflicting. But again, as we know, Chris Roberts has moved back to England to help finish Squadron 42.
Is he there yet?
Okay, so if you go through
He's definitely
the progress tracker, you'll notice a few things. And when I say a few things, I mean that we could possibly be seeing Squadron 42 this year. I might be wrong, I might be right, but as we see, we got jump points here, so we know we...
Okay, I think he's wrong. He might be right, but looking at the roadmap and when the line ends is not the way to formulate an opinion. They've explained this to us, so this isn't my opinion or anything. This is straight up a fact. When a line ends, that doesn't indicate that the feature is complete. That indicates that that work at the time has ended and it could be picked up again later. All right?
We're getting jump points because we got to jump to Pyro. So with that,
and that is a communication from CIG.
We could see that jump points are always going to be consistently worked on, like server meshing. We could see server meshing this year to be able to put Pyro in the game, but people do seem to think that server meshing won't be finished this year because it's going to push to Q4 of 2022. Now that may not be the case. It may actually be that Squadron 42, well, server meshing, sorry, is an ever persisting, ever developed unit. Okay, so the part of server meshing that we're getting is it's static. It's not dynamic.
To do with Squadron?
We're not going to really notice anything different in the background, but we need it to run Pyro because of all the assets and whatnot. So think about it as getting a static piece of it and it's not finished. Okay, so when you think of it like that, keep thinking about it and think that, you know, we got a static piece.
What does that mean? So what he's saying is that when you look at the roadmap now, there's some things that are going to be worked on and iterated on for a long time. And that's all he's trying to explain, is that server meshing, the static part is not finished server meshing. It's going to be worked on for probably years to come. Jump points, well, they continue to need to add jump points to other systems. They're probably going to be worked on for years to come. That's what he's explaining right now.
And as the year goes on to 2023, they'll keep developing and continuing their work on it, and it will just keep improving. It's not going to be like that comes out static. That's it. They're going to stop developing it, and that's why people think it's going to be coming out Q4. You know, it may be announced differently, but they're working on Pyro pretty hard. They're working on server meshing pretty hard, and I feel that Squadron 42 may be coming out this year because if they can't meet the timeline for those two, it feels like they're going to push for Squadron this year. And then...
What?
once that's done, they'll just go straight to the PU and start pushing out content for that. I know there's a few things here for Star Citizen.
I don't understand the logic he's trying to put together here. Because they're working hard on Pyro, that means that Squadron 42 is gonna come sooner than later?
And
I think they're mutually exclusive things that are being worked on. Pyro is simply just the next system. Art teams need to work on something, therefore they're working on Pyro and Levski. I think it's just that simple. And then simultaneously, teams are working on server meshing and jump points because the next logical step is to move to other systems. I think the PU and Squadron 42 are completely separate in this scenario.
And
but
Squadron 42, that may push out to Q3, Q4 of this year, but a majority of it pushes to the end of this month or just into April.
He's doing it. Yep.
So everything that is Squadron 42 related is in March or just a little bit past March. So obviously you got the Sinus mining droid we knew about. Squadron 42.
Surely, because the line ends, that means that Squadron 42
goes
is
to
coming
the end
in.
of March.
Surely, guys.
Right. So you got another one here. Asset integration goes just into February, so that's finished. Okay. FPS radar scanning, end of March. Fire hazard, fire extinguisher, middle of March. Okay. So you keep seeing this correlation between these assets. So you got all of this here means Squadron 42, right? It's going to be in Squadron 42 and the PU. So
I think what he's also not understanding is once these assets are done, they're going to be replaced by other things. Like, this is not the end.
I've also noticed something between the PU and Squadron 42. So it might not be the case, but if you have a look here, we got derelict spaceships, right? And it's a continuing development through 2022, but they also have derelict damage pass on Squadron 42. Now, my theory in mind is that they've put derelicts here, and then they've given us it in the PU, obviously. So I'm thinking that they may actually be testing the derelicts damage pass and all the integrations and just the improvements on derelicts in the PU. And that could be the case. It very well could be the case. But we keep going up and we keep seeing that there's a trend happening here. Most of the stuff for Squadron 42 is going to be finished by the end of March. Which could very well be in time for Invictus.
He's making sense there, but what the question you have to ask is what does the work being done on Chapter 10 really mean? Does that mean it's a playable mission, it's feature complete, and now it's polishing time? As far as we know, Squadron 42 is still in an alpha state and is not ready for a bigger group of QA testers to come in and test it in beta and deal with all the bugs and all those things. Like, there's so much more that needs to be done. If you look at, we all know that they're the same code base, Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Flight combat, ship combat are all in a pretty unpolished and finished state. FPS is horrendous, so there's so many things that still need to be worked on for Squadron 42 to be up to snuff with other single-player campaigns and other games. How can we believe that all these lines ending in March, and also, how can we believe that all of these chapters just magically end at the same time? There's no way that I don't see these lines extending.
Yeah, let's think about that. It could be in time for Invictus, because look at it, look. It's all ending at the end of March. You might not seem like it's going to be coming out, but...
And I repeat, a line ending does not mean that the task is complete on the roadmap. This is directly from Jake, from CIG. Not me, random YouTuber, not him, random YouTuber, just an employee at the company.
I most definitely could guarantee that it would come out this year. I might be putting a few things on the line. It's not my, I don't know if I'd be putting my reputation on the line, but I feel people are being very negative this year. Yeah, I put out that video and it vibed with a lot of people. It definitely did vibe with you guys. So when I say this, go to the progress tracker, look for the correlations between these assets here and Squadron 42 with the PU, and see if you notice any differences of things that are getting added to the PU, because it could very well be testing for Squadron 42. Now, obviously, with pyro and server meshing, we need it. We need server meshing this year, and CIG know, and I've spoken to people about this, that they are taking a bit of a hit with their reputation, their development, and their funding. Yeah, they've got some ships coming out and they're putting out sales because they know they're hemorrhaging just a little bit. So they may actually...
They're taking a hit with funding. I wonder who he spoke to about this.
Be pushing for Squadron 42 this year to up their sales and sort of improve the style of gameplay so they then can concentrate on the PU, give us Nix, give us some more systems, because we do know Earth is going to be in Squadron 42, so they're working on the Odin system for Squadron 42. I'm not too sure if it's going to be coming out into the actual game. Now, there's a lot of unannounced ships there that are very close to being released as well. Well, not released, but finishing their development cycles. So you just need to, you know, you all need to relax. We all need to just chill out for a minute.
I mean, that's true.
Now, they have changed Nix.
But I think you also need to relax thinking that Squadron 42 is going to release in 2022 because you saw some lines end in March.
Was getting, like, developed alongside of Pyro, but I guess we might just be getting Pyro for now, and Nix will be a little bit later, but which is fine because people just want a new system. They want something new that's coming to the game. For everyone that's just come to Star Citizen, that's fine. You guys are going to be ever impressed all the time of the content that is in there right now. For the people who are older backers and in there and sort of, you know, get a little bit bored, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But please go to the progress tracker. Let me know down in the comments what you all think of this, because I definitely think we can expect Squadron 42 this year in the terms of...
I definitely think we can expect Squadron 42 this year. Jesus, man.
That everything's going a little bit, not pear-shaped, but a lot of the content creators are burnt out. A lot of the people that are playing the game are burnt out. There's people not spending as much money. Yeah, there's a lot of you guys spending money out there during these sales. Don't get me wrong, I know this. But I think they know if they don't push for Squadron 42 and get this released and actually do something with this, then they could very well be looking at a few issues in terms of funding and players.
That's for
now, there's
sure.
a lot of people out there that are Legatus, Praetorian, and whatnot that are very hardcore Star Citizen players. I know this. I've seen it. People still play it. I like playing from time to time now. I just haven't played flat out, like dedicated, for a little while.
Because you can't.
I haven't really admitted that. I did sort of admit it. But I think a lot of people are going to other games, and that's fine. I've been playing a little bit of Hunt Showdown, so if anyone plays any Hunt Showdown and you're decent at it, come to Discord. Join my Discord and play some Hunt Showdown.
Carry me.
I play quite a few games actually. Just got back into Battlefield 4. So
nice.
Look at the correlation between...
That's the way to handle it. I just think he's getting a little excited over misinterpreting the roadmap, and this is the biggest flaw of the roadmap, is the line ending... Our brain thinks it's done. They communicate to us that it doesn't, but it still doesn't work.
And that if people think they're not going to get like server meshing and pyro out this year, they may finish Squadron 42 and they may be working on a lot of content, because a lot of that content that's going into Squadron 42 is going to come to the PU.
Eventually,
you know
we hope.
Yeah. And I did sort of make a little bit of a correlation before as well when we seen the Odyssey jumping to pyro. There was a Javelin and an Idris there, so it might just be for background noise and sort of...
A Javelin and an Idris are there because of Xeno threat. That would be my guess, not anything else.
Making the video look a little bit prettier, but to me, it tells me that they may actually release Squadron 42 and then push the Javelin and the Idris into the PU. But then again, that could...
Can you recommend a psychologist for this stupid man? No, I think you might need one, because, listen, man, when a line ends and not everybody follows Star Citizen the way I may or the way you may, they're going to look at that and think that the job is done. And no matter how many times CIG communicates it, somebody who doesn't follow Star Citizen that closely, which is maybe this gentleman here, isn't going to know, right? So when you look at that, it looks like every chapter is done. It looks like everything for Squadron 42 is done. And then you're just like, oh, but like, you know, he does fail to immediately look at, like, look at this. He doesn't make the correlation here. EVA Tier 2, July. EVA! Like, a basic system of the game is still being scheduled out into July. I mean, it's as simple as looking at something like that, right? That you know it's not going to come. But just because they don't get that, you know, don't put them down, educate them. He may not have known that this stuff is happening. He said be respectful at the beginning, so I'm trying to be respectful. Listen, I think he's dead wrong, beyond belief wrong.
Also be
but he's not
the
stupid.
UEE serviceable Javelin, and that could be a UEE Idris, it could be Xenothreat, it could be Ninetales, because we know Xenothreat does come from Pyro. So let me know what you all think of this.
He's also
I
making this
definitely
video
feel
at
like
2 a.m.
we can expect Squadron 42 this year. Yes, there's a few things that push out past June and July, but it might not be that critical that they may just be able to release the game and give us some sort of a beta alpha test on it.
You can't test Squadron. You cannot test Squadron. There's a story that they've been hiding for years, and now all of a sudden you think we're going to be testing it? Okay.
So, let me know what you guys think.
No!
I'm very interested to see what everyone thinks. The Squadron 42 Gen 12 renderer as well for the PU as well. Should be done at the end of March. Well,
should be done. Nope.
Sort of quarter through March, which will be really, really good for
That's
the
a forever
the
worked on thing.
Which is
as well.
also why I think we may expect Squadron 42 this year, because they're pushing on Gen 12 pretty hard, and it would greatly improve our performance.
First off, one of the coolest logos I've ever seen. I'm currently working on my own, and I absolutely love this. So, Lawless, if you ever are watching, did you get this from Fiverr or something? Where did you get this? Because I want to speak to that person. That is an awesome logo. And, yeah, I think you're misinterpreting the roadmap, but maybe you don't know their communication out about that. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. First time watching one of your videos. I hope to watch more. I just hope they're not under this guise of you hoping for Squadron 42 in 2022, because it's not going to happen. But I appreciate the video, and hopefully that helped me educate some people that are watching here as well and get them to learn about your channel and stuff like that. So I just linked it in the chat, and maybe you guys can check out some of his other videos and recommend some other ones that I might want to watch. All right?